What podcast reviewer 37 describes as an indiscriminate hellish ride that I would not wish on my worst enemy. The industry's elite have said time and again, man, fuck those guys. Get ready, if your ears had butts, they'd about to be fucked. Welcome to the Butt Fuck Nowhere Show. Oh yeah, buddy. Welcome back, everybody, to a brand new episode of, personally, what's my favorite podcast, the BFN, the Butt Fuck Nowhere Show.
The greatest show on earth.
It really is. I mean, Jesus Christ, where can you get such a variety of topics and nonsense other than here? Nowhere. That's where. Today we're going to talk about Howard Stern, the Private Parts movie, a little bit. And then we're also going to talk about Adam. Well, Adam's also going to vent about some things that he has to say.
Yes. But before we do that.
Indeed. Before we get into that, y'all could help us out and go to YouTube, Game Rage Magazine, where we are now only 17 subscribers away from reaching the goal.
A whole 17.
A whole 17. It's gone down, all right? It used to be 18.
Hey,
now
maybe,
it's 17.
Maybe by 2050 we'll have fucking 50 subscribers.
Maybe by 2100 we will have, maybe by the turn of the 22nd century we will have fucking 50 subscribers. YouTube may no longer be a thing by the time we get 50 subscribers.
It's a real possibility that we can reach 50 subscribers, sometime in our lifetime.
Sometime maybe in our lifetime, or maybe our children's lifetimes, perhaps.
Yeah.
But anyways, go to YouTube, Game Rage Magazine, like, comment, and subscribe. You can also follow us on social media, Instagram and TikTok, Game Rage Magazine, Twitter/X, Game Rage Mag. If you like music, follow Adam at All Gas No Trash Official on Instagram. Also, check out the All Gas No Trash podcast, where we are making waves and being true disruptors in the music fucking industry.
That cannot be disputed.
It cannot be disputed. There's no fucking disputing that can be done on that. Also, if you like anime and manga, you can go check out the Anime Syndicate podcast. And follow our good buddy Frank at anime_syndicate_podcast. All right. So what do you want to talk about first there, good buddy? Do you want to talk about...
I'll talk about, I guess we'll start with the...
Howard Stern situation?
No, we'll flip that. We'll go the other way.
Vent? Okay, all right. Let's hear it. What do you got?
Right. Yeah, well, shit, man. I mean, I haven't been doing any physical activity for the last... I can't remember the last time I've done physical activity, but it's starting to feel like it's accumulating. Like, I could feel the little bit of jiggle around my, I like the love handles, developing bitch tits. And it usually happens around this time. I hate winter. I hate fucking winter because that's when the part of the brain that says it's too cold. Or it's getting too dark too quickly. Yeah, you don't have to go outside. You don't have to touch grass.
No, you should stay inside.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
That's like our natural human instinct for survival, essentially. Like, oh, you didn't go out when it's dark. It's cool. But you have to fight that.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, I need to do something about this, and I'm just saying it on the podcast so I can hold myself accountable, even though I should have held myself accountable outside from this, but for the sake of transparency and saying that this could literally happen to anybody, that you just start slipping up and letting physical health get away. Can't let that shit happen. It's like, it's got to be on. I mean, I'm like reminiscing about last year, and I promised myself I wasn't gonna fucking do it, that I'd be back in the situation where I feel like I'm more heavier set. I'm like, fuck my life, dude. A year ago, I was in better shape. A year ago, it wasn't even that long. I was running 10 miles. I was doing push-ups like a fucking animal, and I'm back to being a fat fuck again. And I hate it, dude. I fucking hate it. And I somehow end up in back in the exact same situation, and it's so agitating.
Dude, it took me, like a year to get down to like where I was at. And sure, I'm nowhere near back to where I was. But like this time, I don't know, a year ago, I was in better shape than I am now. And like it's been just a slow degradation of like the push-ups kind of fell off eventually. And now like I said, in November I've gotten it back, but here's the problem. Now I'm in this weird phase where you're in the phase of like the beginning couple of months where you don't see any results and you just feel fucking defeated all the time and you're like, what's the point of doing this anyways, right?
Yes.
And so that's what's hard. That's the hardest part, is overcoming that, because once you get into like the 3-4 month range, then you start to actually see the results of all the work that you've done over the last 4 months. And so that's the hardest part for me, is overcoming that initial stage. Because once I see the results, then I become obsessed with like, it's like that obsessive compulsive disorder thing. Like you just get obsessed with like, oh, cool, now I know it's working. Oh, I'm going to keep doing it even harder.
Yeah, it's like warming up a car. You're like, you have to get in that that mode of getting yourself like primed to get going.
Yeah, like,
and then once
up.
you get going, you're like, all right, I'm good. And then it's just the fucking seasons, dude. And it's just
winter is always the worst time, because again, and for me, it's not necessarily the lack of physical activity. Yeah, I've been slacking on it. Like I'm not gonna lie, I've gotten back on it in the last couple of weeks, but this time of year really fucks me because of the food.
The food, yeah, because it's Thanksgiving.
You get Thanksgiving, and then this is the other thing. When me and Ian were eating Fat Sal's last whatever time, and I was telling you about it.
Yeah.
I was like, oh yeah, it's cheat day for me or whatever. And he was like, oh, that's cool, man. He's like, this has been basically like a cheat year for me. And I was like, I kind of feel like that time from like November, because like my birthday's at the beginning of November.
Yeah.
And I go crazy and eat fucking cake and all kinds of dumb shit. Okay, from like November to like January 2nd, it's basically cheat 2 months. And on the days that I like go to work, I stick to the calorie deficit. I stick to like the diet plan. But it's like on my days off, I just fucking lose my mind and just go crazy. And like this week, I fucking ate I ate way too much fucking shit. I mean, luckily today, I kind of reeled it back in. Like, I didn't really eat shit today. Like, this Chipotle that we just had was probably like my first real meal of the day.
Yeah, and the other option, I'm like, that's not happening. Even if it was an option, it's not happening. I need vegetables.
Yeah, like just eat vegetables. That's it. So that's what's hard is and then when you have a cheat day, like, okay, on Thanksgiving, it's coming up on Thursday, right? I'm gonna eat like 7,000 calories that day. Like, there's no fucking denying it. Now, granted, I eat 1,700 calories a day to be in deficit. So if I were to not eat for the next 4 days, that would be a wash. That would be totally cool if I just don't eat. And I know that's how those dudes that do those like eating challenges, that's what they do. They'll go and they'll eat 15,000 calories in like a 45-minute period, but then they won't eat for like a week and a half. They won't eat for like 10 days. Or they'll just drink water. They'll do like a fast. And then it balances out, and that's how you maintain being like skinny while also eating like a fucking slob. I can't do that. Like, I can't just not eat like for days. Like, today I did it and I was fucking miserable. I'm like, this sucks. I need to eat some shit. I was like, listen, bitch, let's get Chipotle. I'm fucking hungry. And yeah, I probably just ate whatever, fucking 1,700 calories for the day right here. It's probably like around 1,500, this whole fucking like Chipotle meal with the chips and the...
We might have been all right if we didn't eat that.
Yeah, I mean, if we didn't eat this shit, but like, I mean, yeah, the bowl was probably like 1,000 calories, and then I probably ate 500 calories or 600 calories in this. So like, I'm probably all right. Like, I'm probably evened out as to where I should be, but principle of the matter being, I still fucked up. Like,
this is why I kind of get internally mad when we can't do shit or we can't meet up for unforeseen circumstances or for whatever reason, because I get the idea mentally in my mind that if it falls apart once, it's going to happen multiple times and it'll just snowball.
Yeah.
And that we won't be able to get back to where we were. So, long story short, post. I don't think we're doing anything crazy for Christmas, but post Thanksgiving, it's back on. Not doing.
Back on the wagon.
Not doing terrible shit.
One cheat day a week. That's it. Like, one cheat day and that's it. Like, no more of this fucking like 3, 4, 5 fucking cheat days in a week. Like, no, it's just one day and that's it. And like, listen, I'm going back hard. I'm like I said, after Thanksgiving, I'm going back hard on the fucking like calorie counting. Like, what is Thanksgiving? The 27th
5th?
8th.
No, it's 8th. So 29th, I'm fucking like back on it hard. Like
Yeah.
strict calorie tracking and counting. Push-ups. I mean, I've been doing push-ups. I've been doing the 10 an hour. And see, this is the other thing. Because and this is where my fuck-offery comes into play, is right now, I've been doing it for 3 weeks. I should have increased 3 times or twice. Because this is like the third, well, this is going into the 4th week. So I should be at 25 fucking push-ups an hour by now. And I'm still at 10. All right. Like,
dude, my body's atrophied so much that doing fucking 5 push-ups feels like a gauntlet.
I mean, honestly, I could probably pound out like right now, if I were to just do them straight, I could probably do like 50 straight, right? But like when you compound it over 10 hours or whatever, and you're doing 10 an hour, once you get towards the end, I still feel like, oh yeah, I can still do more. But I'm just like, I feel like if I add 5 more, I'm like lying to myself. Like
It's not even about doing the total amount. It's just being in the habit of getting the routine going. Because yeah, you could get to whatever amount of things or whatever amount of reps you actually want to get to.
Yeah.
But it's like an ego thing to tell yourself, oh, I need to do 100, or I'm supposed to be doing 100. I could do them all right now, or whatever. It's not even about that. It's that you set a goal every hour to reach 10.
Yeah, and I also think that me not being a psychopath about it is a problem, because I also, like, if we go out somewhere, if we go to Target or wherever, and it's time for me to do push-ups, when I was back in the day, I would stop and do them in Target, right? I don't do that anymore. I'll be like, I'll just do like 30 when I come back. Or if I know I'm gonna be gone for 4 hours, I'll just pound out 40 right now. But that's a problem. Like, I think that's contributing to the issue of not adding more.
Yeah, because if we were, it's not even, how do I word it? It's not about saying that you're better than somebody, but if you really want to separate yourself from the herd,
yeah,
then doing the thing, like doing that is fucking, that looks crazy.
Yeah.
Because you do that in public and people are thinking, why is this asshole doing push-ups? Because you're not.
Yeah.
It's simple as that.
Exactly that. And that's what I would tell people when they, like, people would ask me, like, oh, because you're not doing them. I'm doing them for you right now. Don't worry. I'll carry the boats.
Yeah.
Like,
it's that level of crazy, that Dave Goggins level of crazy to achieve physical fitness. But, well, I don't know if I have anything else to add about that, but I'm just disgusted with myself.
Yeah. We've become fat pigs. Like, we might just kill ourselves now.
And I wanted this shit to sync up with the success of Game Rage magazine. Like,
don't worry. It has. Because we've slacked off, also the numbers have slacked off. So it's totally in sync. It's completely in fucking sync.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Maybe now if we get back on it, and that's what I was saying that shit the other day, and like I kind of believe this. Like, I feel like Scott Steiner has fucked us. Like, I feel like we have not been praying and paying homage to the Lord and Savior, the big bad booty daddy, and I feel like that has severely hindered us in the numbers.
It's possible.
Because we lack discipline, and he's like punishing us. He's like, no, you guys, you're getting fucked right now until you get back on the shit.
Yeah, we're fucking Samoa Joe to Scott Steiner.
We're fat. He knows we love sugar, but he doesn't have any for us right now. Okay? All he's got is fucking steaks and fucking eggs. That's all he's got.
Reps.
And reps. That's it. And we're not doing any of those. But we need to get back on doing it.
Yeah. So that concludes our self-deprecation therapy session, whatever the fuck it was. And now we're transitioning over to the Howard Stern
portion.
So this is a movie. Now, I'll get to why I'm talking about it, but this is a movie I had seen numerous times as a kid, like walking by block, when you're in Blockbuster and you just see all the movies listed on the walls and shit, or the shelves. I was like, who the fuck is this asshole with the glasses, and why is he standing naked in like New York? Like, what the fuck is that all about? And this is the first time that I've actually seen it ever. Like, I've never actually seen it. I didn't even see the whole fucking movie, but I sat down and watched it, and I don't know if it's all that entertaining. It's mainly a retelling of his rise through radio, and then eventually getting to where he's at, where he's working at WNBC, and I think that's where it roughly ends. I don't know if it goes to like the E shit, when he gets to entertainment.
I don't think it does. I don't think it goes that far.
Well, in any case, the reason that I was kind of captivated by this movie is because Howard Stern, throughout his radio career, was trying to put on a persona for radio, trying to like have his breakthrough because it's something that he's been interested in for, I think since, or at least I believe since he was a child is what it says.
Yeah.
So he's going through all these numerous jobs and he's not really having any success because he kind of just wants to do the things the way he wants to do them. These radio stations are telling him to fuck off and all this stuff. And his wife is telling him, like, dude, you're your best when you're yourself.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, I kind of feel like I'm holding back when I do these things. Like, I feel like I could do more. And so I think I saw it more, like, I didn't really care particularly about the movie, but there was like bits and pieces that I really enjoyed. And one part was when he's batting heads or battling against like NBC, and they're telling him, no, you're going to bow down to us and you're going to do exactly what we tell you. And he kept saying no. And some of the employees that he had, or some of the people that he had taken along in his journey, Robin, and there was this like sound effects guy that he had taken. They were slowly being replaced so they could demoralize him and just make him like every other radio host. And he didn't give in. And when the numbers eventually came back for his show when it debuted on WNBC, the radio station, they had like done so well. He was like the number one program or whatever, and they were saying, well, how did he do against people? How did he do with people that love him? Oh, they love it. They want to know what he's going to say next. Well, how about the people that hate him? Oh, they're just as equally as interested. They're interested in what he's going to say next. I'm like, fuck, man, that's exactly that. It felt like I was getting answers for something I wasn't really expecting from a weird, obscure movie that is about Howard Stern's life. And I found it particularly interesting. So it's more like inspirational to me that we're also kind of on the same journey. I mean, not exactly like Howard Stern, but something of a similar trajectory or similar path. Yeah.
Our deal is different in the sense that, like, we are not reliant upon anyone else at this point. Like, we're not reliant upon, like, Howard Stern needed someone to be like, oh yeah, I think this guy's good, and put him on the radio, right? We have our own Howard Stern show. I mean, you call this show the BFN show, basically our Howard fucking Stern show, right? Like, yeah, this is our version of that. And we also have 17 other fucking shows that we do about specific topics and specific things. So, we're obviously a little bit different, but at the end of the day, we're not reliant upon someone to say, "Oh, we think this guy is good. We think these guys are good. Let's give them a morning radio show on K-Rock or whatever, and then let's see how they do there." Like, we don't need that. Let's see what the ratings are. No, we can make our own version of that on our own with no one else. We don't need any quote unquote industry types to fucking go with us. And listen, if Howard Stern would be doing the same shit that he was doing then, now, would it be as popular? I don't know, probably not. But it's like that whole thing of like right place, right time. Like, everything kind of was just perfect for itself. I mean, we always talk about wrestling, right? With the whole Attitude Era. That late 90s was the Attitude Era for like everything. Howard Stern was the Attitude Era for fucking radio. That was his deal. And that was his gimmick, right? He said shit that was fucking provocative, and he had people on that no one else would have on. And I think now that's kind of I think that same formula can be applied at a base level of, interviewing people or talking to people that no one else wants to talk to because of A, B, or C, right? It's too racy, it's too controversial, it's too whatever, right? Not having any barriers to entry for people like for us to interview, that's a key. Like, that's one of the keys to like success, I think, is not giving a shit, because that's the stuff that people don't hear. And it's like doing something different, right? Because that's what he was doing at the time. He was just doing something different. So people loved it and latched onto it, and shit. There's people that have been listening to Howard Stern for like fucking 30 plus years now at this point. And, shit. Dude got his money. He fucking went on and, basically became the only reason that satellite radio still exists to this day, simply because Howard Stern is on it, and that's the only place you can hear him. And honestly, I believe that's the only reason why people have a satellite radio subscription at this point. I mean, I had one for a while, and that was the only reason, was to listen to Howard Stern and just hear that shit, because it's entertaining and it's interesting and it's funny. But I'm sure there's millions of people that have that for just him alone. So the movie, though, very interestingly, I mean, it made its money back and made profit. It had a budget of $28 million and it made $41.2 million at the box office. That was just in theaters. So, I mean, I do remember like that back in the what was it, 97 or whatever, when it came out on home video or whatever, like at Blockbuster, and you'd see that picture of who's this fucking dude with this fucking big ass hair, and he's fucking standing on a thing, and like, who the fuck is this? And I think I fucking watched it back then, like probably not 97, but like maybe 99 or 2000 maybe is when I watched it for the
when
first
time. When did this movie come out? Like 94,
1997 was when it came out.
It came out in 97?
Yeah. The book that it's based on.
Oh, it's based on a book?
The book that he wrote. Yeah, he wrote a book called Private Parts, which was like.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and I think he wrote it in 93. And then they were like, okay, you know what? Like, somebody bought the rights to the movie version of it. And they were like, oh, cool, like, let's start working on this. So they started working on this in like 94, like writing the script and doing all that shit. And then it is also kind of like, I don't want to say old narcissism, as you said before. To star, you're not an actor, but you're going to play yourself in your own fucking movie. Like, that's some narcissism right there,
to relive all your moments in life. And then, I don't know how to phrase this, because I would say one of the pivotal moments in the movie is when, and I don't even know who she was supposed to be playing. I don't know if Jenna Jameson was supposed to be playing herself, but kind of one of the highlights or the high points of the movie, or low points or whatever, depending on how you look at it, is that Jenna Jameson just strips completely butt naked, and she's giving like Howard a massage, and it's like, oh wow, the first fucking naked woman on radio. And I'm like, man, I feel like that's the only reason anybody would want to be interested in this movie, is because
they want to see Jenna Jameson naked.
No, because they figured there's going to be some crazy crap, knowing that he was already numerous years into radio. It's like, okay, let's go see what he's going to do in this fucking movie. And of course he's going to have naked women in it, because it's Howard Stern.
Yeah. True story. I mean, it's a late 90s fucking raunchy comedy. Like, that's what it is. So if you want to check it out, if you haven't seen it, you should check it out. I think it's funny. It's akin to it's like that shock. It's like shock comedy or whatever, right? Like, it's like South Park kind of like. But during that time period, that's the shit that was hot, and that's the shit that was funny. And it's still, some of it still holds up to this day. Some of it's still funny, but it is a movie from fucking going on close to 30 years ago now. I mean, 25 years ago. So keep that in mind if you do watch it. But anyways, anything else to add?
No, I mean, other than just saying that there were little scenes that stood out to me. I'm like, I don't know if they were revelations or epiphanies, but it just made me think we're on some kind of path in tandem or in parallel to Howard Stern. Maybe we're like on step 1 and he's on step 100 or whatever. But just the part about him splitting an audience but keeping people engaged or interested in his programming, that's the ticket to success, I think, is if you could do that. If you could split people down the middle but have both of them being interested, that's the way to go.
Yeah, I think that is the way to go. And that's hopefully what we can maybe get going here. So, I don't know. We'll see. But anyways, all right, well, fuck. I guess it'll be the end of it. So, thanks for listening. Check us out on Game Rage Magazine on YouTube. Subscribe, like, comment. Also, go to Game Rage Magazine on Instagram and TikTok. Game Rage Mag on Twitter/X. You can follow Adam at Allgas, No Trash Official, and Frank at Anime_Syndicate_podcast.
This has been the Butt Fuck Nowhere Show. Thanks for listening. Don't forget, subscribe and like on Instagram and TikTok at Game Rage Magazine. Also on Twitter/X at Game Rage Mag. Also visit our website, www.GameRageMagazine.com, for a host of other podcasts and more. Thanks for listening.